Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Crystal, Coach Crystal here. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Um, if you're just joining us, my name is Crystal Brown, affectionately known as Coach Crystal, and this is Steps and Stages. So, Steps and Stages are our coaching platform, and each week I try to give the steppers, our clients who are working towards living the life they love, and also our community, people who are a part of our book club, people who jump on the lives or come to our monthly vision workshops, just a little food for thought. And so this week in our Dream Builder group, we talked a little bit about discernment. And for many of you, it may come across as a term you've heard before. It may feel like a term that is mostly used in religious context. But discernment really is about choice and decision. And many of you have this special skill that you use quite frequently, especially in the workplace. People who make quick decisions are often put in leadership roles. People who make decisions from what we call our gut seem to have a lot more confidence in the things that they do. But when we think about this idea that confidence, that gut response is the actual definition of discernment, we might not always use it as accurately with our own lives, or we might just not trust it as much. So I want to talk to you today about this idea of discernment, how you cultivate it through your intuition, and how by being more discerning, you can separate the moments, the days, the years of your life from distraction or destiny. So let's take this for example. There are two opportunities. And most of the time, my logical mind is going to say, well, what are the pros and cons of this versus that? Now, logic is one of those things that some might regard similar to insanity. 1 + 1 will always equal 2, right? So sometimes when we do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, that's insanity. So sometimes logic is not the only thing that's going to help us make decisions, especially in our personal lives, where there could be a lot wrapped up in terms of past history, future aspirations, the thoughts that we have, the limiting beliefs, maybe the way we talk to ourselves, or maybe the limitations of what we see. Well, there might not be enough money in the bank account for that. Our spouse isn't really interested in that. Or I don't have the education to do that, right? That's the logic, the pros and cons. But sometimes we have to peel back the pros and cons and get to, is there anything about this opportunity, this one or this one, that scares me? Is there anything about this opportunity or this opportunity that excites me? And sometimes that could be a little bit of both, right? Fear and excitement usually lead to nervousness, right? And so in Steps and Stages and in this coaching platform, we like to think of fear as the border between the now and the reality you haven't known yet. So when we get to those borders and we want to cross those borders determining to go right or left, it may mean that we have to ditch the pros and cons, the ways that we've made decisions in the past, and really look towards who we are and what we want to become. So I actually don't refer to myself as a life coach. I refer to myself as a vision coach. I actually believe that when you have a vision, you have a life, right? And if you don't have a vision, then the things you're doing every day, the routines, the habits that we're recreating every day are actually not building a bigger life. They're just perpetuating the same scenario. So when we think about discernment, we want to think about what's going to change the day-to-day scenario to get us to the life, to the vision we would really love. Now, that could be as simple as asking yourself, what is it you would love? What would be different in your ideal day-to-day life? What would be different in your relationship? What would be different in your parenting? What would be different in your friendships if you could just, right? And when we think about that next step, it actually could lead us to a clear indication of which one of the options that we're considering is actually for us. Now, the more you do that, the more you practice that, the more those intuitive voices give you feedback. And the more feedback you get, the more you're able to make decisions quicker. You trust your intuition because you've actually gathered enough data in your own life to prove that you know what you're talking about. Now, again, this happens a lot in our workspaces because we've been practicing the structure, the decision making so much, and sometimes on a compressed timeline, and for the result of our livelihood, that we begin to get used to functioning in that way. But when it's time for us to actually take that information for ourselves, take that skill and use it on our own lives, we sometimes feel a little bit lost. We might feel a little bit at bay, not thinking that we have the right information or the right skills, or that we should delay our action taking based on a result that we can see. Your vision is never going to be clear to other people. Your life doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you. In addition to my coaching, or actually in support of my coaching, I have over 20 years in education, and that's from kindergarten through college, through undergraduate college professorship. I have the experience of having a lot of jobs that people don't think are real, like being a choreographer and a professional artist. In all of those configurations of my skill set, in all of those configurations of my assets and gifts, I've always been able to see possibility. That's the visioning. The visioning is about you understanding what the bigger picture, the bigger idea of who you are becoming is, and being able to make that into maybe a yearly goal, a monthly check-in, a weekly assignment, and some daily practices that build your intuitive voice, that clear the pathway for your vision, and give you a roadmap and the tools for discernment to choose between the options, the activities that are right for you, so that the distractions don't win and your destiny prevails. So this is Steps and Stages. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to reach out. We're at crystalbrown.com/coaching if you want to schedule your free complimentary call. And we have a free book club. This month, we're reading The Big Leap. So if you're thinking about making some changes in your life, jump over to either our Facebook or Instagram page and make sure you get signed up for the book club and The Big Leap. So this is Coach Crystal. I'll talk to you soon. Make sure that you are choosing what's best for you each and every moment of the day. Bye-bye.